laps of racing, and finally, after doing everything right, he crosses the line here in Abu Dhabi for the first Christmas race for JCC events. He's going to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and is the winner of the grand prize tonight. £100 then going to lead off. Right then, good afternoon everybody, good evening and welcome to WRC Tuesday Division. We've just been live recently for the WRC mini-series for the Tuesday night, and now finally, after a long time, we are back to it here on the Tuesday Division. I'm very glad to be back. It's been so long, and should be quite a nice one indeed. Someone in the TikTok already asking for an invite. I'm not going to be able to add them, so if someone could try and get them in, that'd be brilliant. We've got a driver joining in a little bit late, but people in the TikTok tonight again, people in the Twitch as well, and the WRC Tuesday Division has been one which I have dearly missed. We've got Danny leads the championship then coming into this one with 179 points and one P1, one win out of this season so far. We've had 7 rounds so far. We come into this then as the 8th round of the season, and that 8th round being here at Suzuka in Japan. So a very nice one on the cars, ladies and gentlemen. Very glad to be back. I've got to say, the championship shaping up to be very nice. Last round was Silverstone Reverse, and I saw a few clips on TikTok about that one with JP commentating, and it looked pretty damn good, I've got to say. It looked very nice indeed. Hopefully the drivers here today can replicate some of that racing here in Japan. I've not seen some of these names for a long time. I heard that Billy Mewis might be joining us again as well, the Season 1 World Champion. And Billy Mewis does join us again. He's here in 8th position. Not set a time just yet, but I'm very happy to see him. And we'll see what he's got in store for us today then. Won the World Championship in the first season of the World Racing Championship. And here we are now. Can he do anything in this race this evening? Would be very nice to see him, you know, up there. So hopefully we can. Like I mentioned, the championship looking well. Danny leading on 179. Malone second place, 164. Then separated by 1 point to F1 Mikey Boy in 3rd place in the World Championship. He's on 163. Mikey coming close to win this championship multiple times here in WRC. Never really had his moment. Of course, many race wins, but unfortunately for him, no race wins this season in the Tuesday Division, which is, it's insane. Mikey, when I first joined, when the league started, he won quite a fair few, if I remember correctly. But I think he does tend to do the winning in other divisions now. Unfortunately, 7 rounds into this season, not being able to you know, turn any race into a win, but I'm sure it is coming. And usually his qualifying isn't as good as what his race pace is. Let's see what he can do here in Japan then. Tesco Mealdil sets the first time in the afternoon in the Ferrari as they take a 29.753. We are coming from a very wet very wet qualifying earlier on in the mini-series in Canada. Now coming into a very dry Japan, and it's Milk, Ferrari for Life, Tesco Mealdils, Blake and Drew Larrard all setting times. Drew Larrard, a brand new driver here in the Tuesday Division, of course, was my teammate, and it still is my teammate, I think, in the Thursday evening races here in WRC, but he's here now joining us on the Tuesday night, wanting to get involved with some of this faster racing, of course, equal performance cars, as well as George Russell. The same name as the, of course, actual Formula 1 driver, a 28.910, and takes provisional pole in the early stages. George Russell to pole then, Milk second place. It'll be Danny third with Ferrari for Life 4 at the moment. And this is the beauty of the Tuesday Division. All within a few tenths of a second all the way down then. It is brilliant to watch. Scooter is a legend, pass it on. Scooter is a legend and gifting about 5 subs earlier on, and then of course subbing himself as well. Quite a bit of money spent in the chat, but what an absolute legend, and of course helping the league out massively through doing that. But we've got about a 13-minute qualifying session left, everybody. Started of course with the 18. Now we have not too long left, 13 minutes, then we go into a 50% race with a very short break between the two. Qualifying earlier on for the mini-series was brilliant. And it's looking like this one might be quite good as well. We did have wet earlier on, meaning that the times weren't really that close. But this is what this tier in particular specialises in. It's a 28.910 at best then for George Russell, the man on provisional pole at the moment. Milk then second place, Ace third, Danny 4 as Danny heads his way around. This is looking like another go at a lap. The world champion, the reigning champion of Danny, here in 4th position as he makes his way down and towards the first few corners then here in Japan. What has the Williams got in store for us today? It's a 29.367. Not a lot then between it. As I think, is our Scooters gifting another sub in the chat? He's going again. 6 subs gifted then for Scooters TV. An absolute legend then, helping the league out so much. He's sending us a hell of a lot of subs. He's got to be in the server, surely. What an absolute legend. We really appreciate you, mate. Danny goes wide here in the Williams, and unfortunately, will lose a lot of time there. He hasn't invalidated, which is really good for him. Continues on, but a lot of time will have fallen from underneath him there in the Williams, and unfortunately, not really what he wants to be doing. The man that's up in 5th position, the reigning world champion, who is going for pole position, of course. The champion, he wants pole. Danny knows he can take pole as well. Of course, these new regulations of this season, you know, it's a struggle for certain drivers. It really is. And he's down, sorry, by 600ths of a second, which isn't really where he wants to be at all. He needs those fine margins, and he's just on the wrong side of it at the minute. A 29.367 will not be beaten by him as it stands. Round the final turn, then it will be into the pit lane. He backs off of his lap. Let's go to F1 Mikey Boy. He's going to be going in the pit lane, actually, at the end of this, so we can't really watch along with him. Nova Piper towards the line. This is almost definitely a lap starting off. Here we go then for the Mercedes, all the way down in towards turn 1. The best lap for him so far is P9 here in qualifying with a 29.771. It's Woody in 8th position ahead of him. His teammate only a few hundredths of a second ahead. Nova Piper is looking for those fine margins here, and he's in the first sector so far. Arguably one of the tightest and technical, first sectors of a Formula 1 track, and he takes it very well indeed. Now down towards the end of sector 1 then. What has Nova Piper got in store for us today? It is nearly a whole 10th of a second found on his last lap around. This is looking very nice indeed for the Mercedes. Almost definitely on course to beat his teammate on qualifying time, but of course he wants to aim a bit higher than that. Tesco Mildeals is not much further in front. I'm sure he's going to get in front of him as well, but can he trek any higher? Looks like 6th place might be at best here, unless he goes for an insane time found on these 2nd and 3rd sectors, but he's on a brilliant lap so far, and that middle sector line on its way now then here in Japan. Nova Piper up by a 10th and a half then on this lap time for the Mercedes. Not looking too bad at all as he makes his way round towards the final chicane. What's this lap got in store for him then? It's going to be back on the boost around the final turn and towards the line then for the Mercedes in the pit lane. He was up on time. The final sector must have fallen away from him because that was a decent looking lap. Unfortunately, I think the final sector didn't go the way he wanted it to, and he does back off at the end of that. That is the Mercedes backing off and not going for another one just yet. Drew Larrard then, as I mentioned, one of the new drivers here. He's on an out lap and preparing to go for a flying lap. At the minute, invalidated. And he will be going for a flying lap next, of course. Doesn't matter that he's invalidated on his out lap, as it doesn't count towards anything. He will be going for that push lap very, very soon. I'm looking forward to seeing it. In the TikTok then, we've got 10 people watching so far, and in the Twitch chat, 18 viewers in there at the moment. And Scooter's saying he's just a fan. He's not even in the survey. He's a fan of the WRC League and helping us out this much. A proper fan. Brilliant stuff. I don't think we can't start posting on the TikTok because it's bringing some absolutely brilliant publicity to the league. Here's Drew Larrard then. and on his second running of the afternoon here in WRC Tuesday Division. Would be nice to see him do well on his debut today in the McLaren. His teammate is currently Billy Mewis. He's got a very high standard teammate here. Billy Mewis won the Season 1 World Championship, and Drew Lara comes in as his teammate. He's been a very good teammate with me in the Thursday Division. What can he bring to the table here on the Tuesday night? Drew then through the first sector from this TV camera angle. It's looked very nice and neat and put together for the McLaren, but we'll have to see what the sector timing is looking like. It is only up by 100th of a second as F1 Mikey Boy then. I can't even see how many has he just gifted. That is insane. It's got to be over 10, surely. Mikey Boy gives a hell of a lot of subs. 5 subs to the channel. We're over 10 now in the gifting goal. Mikey gives 5 subs to the channel. And we've got Nova Piper there, Cam Ruddy, we've got Mewis, we've got Fizzo, loads of drivers picking up a free gifted sub. Absolutely love that from Mikey Boy as he gets Scooters TV going again. 10 gifted subs from Scooters TV. He's not stopping with it, is he? Absolutely brilliant. The amount of help that he's provided to the stream is insane. Scooters TV with 16 subs in total. And he says he's just a fan, not even in the Discord. And this man absolutely treating us in the Twitch chat today. 25 viewers just watched that as well. And so many people picking up tier 1 subs. Scooters TV, the legend that he is. Wow, that is a hell of a lot then that he's just sent us. Mikey Boy sends another 10. It is not stopping. The amount of gifted subs, the hype train is continuing on. Mikey Boy with 10 gifted subs then into the WRC Twitch chat. Scooters TV and Mikey sending a hell of a lot then into the Tuesday Division. And as said earlier on by, I think, Ollie Southall, Tuesday Division, the baby of the World Racing Championship. And just as I'm back, a hell of a lot of subs sent into the WRC Twitch. That is brilliant, and I'm absolutely sure you've made the payout already, mate. With that, a 28.621 for the Ferrari as he improves on his pole position time. It is George Russell on provisional pole at the moment. TMS Milk on the front row of the grid right now in second place. Then it's Ace in third, Danny 4, and Ollie Southall gives 5 subs. 37 gifted subs. I'm actually in shock. That is the most amount of subs I've ever seen gifted to a channel of our size. 37 subs gifted in the Twitch. Absolutely insane. Ollie Southall, Mikey. Wow. Just wow. Absolutely brilliant. So many gifted subs. It looks like it's never ending. Everybody picking up a free sub here to go ad-free in the WRC Twitch. But into the pit lane for Danny then. I think I need to get back to the action. I've been distracted by everybody sending in the subs here during qualifying. George Russell on pole. Did anybody doubt it, really? Of course you didn't, Drew. Oh, George Russell on pole, though, in a 28.621 in the Ferrari. A decent time for him. He's on pole by about 3/10 of a second here at the minute. Kian, sorry, mate, I didn't mean to ignore your message earlier. I'm very good, thank you. Nice to see you again. Hopefully you're doing well. And welcome into the stream tonight, mate. Hopefully you're doing good. Cam Ruddy down in 7. He's on the low fuel mode. See if we can catch Humboldt on a lap here. He's also on the low fuel mode. Don't know if this is a lap time or not. Let's just see what his first sector's going like. The middle sector, my apologies, and see if he's up on time or not. I don't know if he is. I don't know what the middle sector is at the minute. He's down by a little bit. Kian, happy to be racing. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you are, mate. Very best of luck tonight. Cannot believe the amount of gifted subs. As Scooters TV, it is never ending. 9 gifted subs from Scooters TV as he once again treats the WRC Twitch. Every single person basically that follows us is getting a free sub here. This is popping off in the Twitch chat. How many subs are we getting? This is just insane. Insane. This has got to be the record for WRC. Surely it's never been more than this. I think 47 gifted subs here. No doubt about it, the league has made the payout already. That is insane. Absolutely incredible. Well, that, honestly, you guys don't know how much that helps the league out. That really, really does help the league. I need to really get back to some of the racing here because I've been missing it. And F1 Mikey Boy in 5th place. I mean, not a lot of battery. It's looking like he is on a lap time here. And we're going to go to the middle sector for him, the end of the middle sector. He has got yellow flags in front of him, but no sign of slowing down as he goes down towards the middle sector line. Now then, Mikey's down by a 10th and a half on this qualifying lap at the minute. 5th place at best then with the 29.3. But he does try to go for an improvement if he can. And now all the way round and up towards the line then. Can F1 Mikey Boy improve? It is in the pit lane, unfortunately. And that will be not an improvement. It's in the chat. Is that goat cross lurking here? It is. It is. Although I wouldn't class myself as the goat, but I appreciate that. Welcome in, mate. Glad to see you in the chat. 15 people in the TikTok tonight. And we have a whopping 29 in the Twitch as we've had, I think, 47 gifted subs in the Twitch chat tonight. It has been popping off. And if you're not already in the Twitch chat, get yourself over there. Or the TikTok as well. It has been insane. The league are going to benefit massively from this. And it's just going to help us build. You know, since we've gone viral on TikTok, the league is growing bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where we're racing every single day of the week, everybody. Every single day of the week we're racing. And look at the standard of driving we get. Look at how close the lap times are. All the way down to P14 in the 29s. Insane stuff then. And it's all within a few tenths of a second. Drew and Woody, like you mentioned in the chat, have set the exact same time here in qualifying. You don't see that very often. And actually recently, I saw the exact same time set for pole, which is insanely rare. And that did happen a few weeks ago. But we've had some nice times so far then, everybody. Let's have a look. We've got Ace, who's in 3rd place at the minute in qualifying. And this just puts it into perspective. If you watch the Tuesday mini-series earlier on, how fast these drivers are. Ace was leading by a good 8 seconds probably at most, you know, in the best part of the race earlier on. Did eventually come down on the safety car. But he's being beaten by a good few tenths of a second here. George Russell in the Ferrari, starting to believe it's the real George Russell here because that is just an insane lap time and much quicker than the man behind him. 0.3 of a second in it for pole, and honestly, you don't get much pole margins like this here in WRC Tuesday. It's usually massively close. George Russell, though, massively ahead of the field here at this moment in time. Qualifying, though, still a few minutes before it rounds off. Never mind, 15 seconds till it rounds off. It's gone really quick. I've been took away by all of the gifted subs that we've been getting in the chat as a Cadillac pulls over to the side there. And let's try and catch some of these final lap times. Milks off the track then on his final run. And that'll be the end of qualifying for him, unfortunately. P2 at best for Milk then. Ace on his way around. He's up by a 10th and a half on this lap at the minute. In the first sector, a 10th and a half, sorry, 700th of a second found in the first sector. He is up on time overall, which is exactly what he wants to be seeing. Ace at the minute dominated the race earlier on that we had here in WRC. Now he's here on the main Tuesday division. Usually does pretty well. He's here for 3rd place, the 2nd row of the grid. That front row does sound a little bit nicer, doesn't it? Let's see where he can get himself then. BP Ace, round and on towards the back straight we go then, ladies and gentlemen. Up towards the line. What is the Red Bull going to have in store for us then? The middle sector coming up, and he gets a distance so from the Audi. It's looking really quick. He's up by 800ths of a second. So far, wouldn't gain him any places, but he's still up on time. And if he can keep this lap going well till the end, it could very well gain him some places. Danny finishes qualifying in 3rd place then with a 29.206. Here comes Ace in qualifying. It's going to be 3rd place as he retakes it away. It is 3rd for Ace then, 2nd row of the grid here in qualifying. As in the chat, Scooters with another gifted sub, 47 gifted subs. Insane stuff then from him as he's helping us out so much here. But qualifying pretty much complete. Blake, one of the last drivers to cross the line. Blake improves to P10. Go down to Romeo Blues here. Not looking like he's up on time. I think that's going to be it for him here in qualifying, everybody. He will go towards the pit lane, and we have George Russell in the Ferrari on pole position here in the World Racing Championship Tuesday division. The times here are insanely close. Do not go anywhere for the Grand Prix coming up just next, everybody. That is qualifying. And as Drew says in the chat, a good return for me. Absolutely. The racing so far in qualifying, the lap times we've seen, Insane stuff. Absolutely brilliant. And it is the Ferrari of George Russell, who I'm starting to believe is the real George Russell, is on pole position at 28.621. Pole margin, 0.3 of a second. In the chat, can I get an autograph from the streaming legend? I'm being glazed tonight. I'm being absolutely glazed. I appreciate it though. I appreciate all the support. Don't go anywhere, everybody. This is the results here in qualifying, and I cannot believe how close it is. George Russell on pole position in the Ferrari here on the Tuesday night. From Milk on the front row of the grid. Then from Ace, Danny, Ferrari for Life, F1 Mikey Boy. Then comes Milloon, Drew Larrard on his debut in 8, Tesco Meal Deals 9, and it is Blake in the Alpine. He rounds off the top 10. Next up is the Grand Prix. Charlie's is here in the Ferrari. George Russell threw me off. Yeah, it all sounds a little bit odd. It really does. George Russell, of course, I'm assuming not the real George Russell. Probably not going to be racing here on the F1 game. But he's certainly got the pace of George Russell. I will tell you that now. 16 people in the 16 people in the TikTok and 22 in the Twitch. Sleazy, you're the best thing to happen to streaming since high-speed internet. I'm being absolutely glazed. I really am. I appreciate all the support. You know, hopefully you enjoy the commentary. It sounds like you do. Hopefully you stick around for WRC. I've got to say, this league has got some of the greatest commentators. There's really good comms here. JP, one of the best that I know on the, you know, basically on every other day in WRC. Does a lot of them. I'm here on the Tuesday nights, every Tuesday night. And I've been here since the very start. Season 1, round 1 in Spa, I believe it was. All the way now to where we are. 8th round of this season. It's been a long, long way and a long, long road. Garrison says, side note, why is there 123 people in the stream? I am not seeing that. But if there's 123 people in the stream, I guess I better get my my best act on, don't you think? 22 people then, everybody, are getting ready to go racing. You join us here then for the formation lap here in Japan. And a brilliant race on the cars, ladies and gentlemen. We've been told Kian has been kicked. Let me really... sorry to break the action up of the stream, but I don't want to get anyone missing out. Let's get Kian back in. I don't actually think I've got him. I don't know if I've got him. No, I don't. I really do apologise, mate. I thought I could get you in. Unfortunately, I can't add you. But 21 people in the TikTok, and it is starting to build. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. The Grand Prix getting ready to begin very soon, and yours fine. It's George Russell in the Ferrari on pole position from all the drivers behind, and he took pole by about 0.3 of a second then. At this moment in time, let's see how this goes then. Apparently, over 100 odd people in the stream tonight, and I can't see that on my stream. Garrison sent me a message. I want to see this screenshot. 123 people. Oh, there is 123 people then in the Twitch. Not seen that for a long, long time. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Grand Prix coming up in a moment. And as I've already mentioned, George Russell on pole position. What was the pole lap? I didn't get it wrote down, mate. Might be able to get that for you later. If you join the server, you'll definitely be able to find things out about that. Yes, 125 people in the chat. Add that on to the 31 in the TikTok. So we're very nearly over about 200 people watching live at the minute. And it is George Russell on pole position in the Ferrari. There's a race about to begin. The George Russell in the chat. Yes, it is. It is. I enjoy the mix of humour, serious gameplay, and streams. Keeps things entertaining and engaging. I do appreciate that. That's what I try and do. You don't want it always too serious. It can get a slight bit boring. Sorry, Kian. I'll put my EA in really quickly just so you can get in. I think it is that. Oh, I can't send it in. Mate. Might have to get somebody else to add you, mate. I can't send it over. I might be able to send it in a Discord chat really quick. I can't get it. Mate, you might have to get somebody else to that. You're in. Perfect. Brilliant. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, having a few issues, people joining, but we are now finally in. And this is the Grand Prix on your way. 50 people in the TikTok and 123 watching live on the Twitch. And 27 laps of racing on your way ahead of us. George Russell in the Ferrari on pole position here for the Tuesday division on the 8th round of the season. And it's lights out and away we go. And we go racing down in towards turn 1. Then the Ferrari gets a brilliant start, minimal wheel spin. And he leads through the first corner here. Then 8th, second place. Then comes Danny in 3rd. He's battling hard with Milk as they battle through the first corners here. It's very nearly 4 abreast through there. Milk holds on to 4th position then as Maloon is trying to hold a position. He gets hit there from the Haas driver. Very nearly went around. I think he did go around the Haas then of Ferrari for life. Has gone around then in 8th position now. Come out battling with his teammate. They're side by side off the back of the track. There goes Blake as well. Down in P14. A horrible start from Blake in the Alpine as he goes wide then. Back on the circuit now, but it's P14 now as he joins back again. He went very much off the track. A Red Bull goes quite off the track there as well. We go back to the front. Oh, the Mercedes goes around Nova Piper, spins off the back, and then into the barrier here. And the race start, ladies and gentlemen. It's P20 and the back of the grid now for Nova Piper as he spins the car around. And now back of the grid. The battles continue. At the back, though, is Dinosaur now trying to get ahead of Nova Piper as well. It's all cracking off here on the first lap. The Mercedes and the Aston Martin getting perilously close now into the left-hander as the Aston goes wide. The Mercedes gets the better jump there, and it is through and into P21 for him. To the race leaders then, and it's George Russell leading from BPAs, then from Milk, then from Danny, then from Miloon. Here so far in this Grand Prix, a massive amount of people watching tonight, just over probably 200 people watching live here on the Tuesday division tonight, and it's George Russell running well by about 0.3 of a second then over the guys behind. But Ace looks for the move, he sees the move, and he tries to go for that dive. He's forcing the Ferrari off wide. It's the Red Bull who goes through, and the race leader now changes around for the first time in the afternoon. BP Ace now on the second lap of 27. He is your race leader in the early stages. Wow, a brilliant race so far, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you've enjoyed that race start. It is absolutely brilliant here on the Tuesday division. This is the kind of stuff that I've missed. Absolutely privileged to be able to commentate here on the Tuesdays as the battles continue on through to the second lap now. And the leader, of course, is Ace at the minute. A long line of drivers, though, as they all stay within a few tenths of a second of each other here in the early stages of this race. As the race leader already being hit again, and it's off wide there. Maloon goes around at the back of the track. George Russell gets back ahead there of the race lead. Maloon has gone around everybody and has lost many places down to P19. The virtual safety car has been deployed as I cannot believe the start we have had. 60 people watching live in the TikTok and a whopping 126 in the Twitch. A whopping 48 gifted subs as well in the Twitch. We have had a hell of a lot of support this afternoon. Keep it coming then. Can we build a viewer count up, Woody? With a 10-second time penalty here for speeding under the WRC. Not what he wants to be getting there at all. I'm not liking that. It will not be good at all. Such a shame for Woody. Big time penalty for him, and he will lose out to that. This is not a full safety car, by the way, everybody. Only a virtual. The drivers have to reduce their racing speeds to about 30% of usual pace. Now, we don't know how long it's going to be, on the track for. Marshall's waving the yellow flags at the moment. Of course, the drivers have to slow it right down. There is some pit stops coming in now then under the VSC, of course. You reduce your pit stop time by about half here, or even more potentially, depending on the circuit. But it is it's Woody, Ferrari for Life, Maloon and Kian all in the pit lane. Let's get the tyres up on your screen then to see what the strategies are looking like. If I can even get it up, give me a moment. There we go, tyres on your screen. And it is a lot on the mediums. We go racing again, by the way, as the virtual safety car goes away. A lot on the mediums. There's a few on the softs, a few on the hards as well. A lot of the hard runners towards the back as they've just been in the pit lane. But for the lead here, it is George Russell hanging it on the outside line. Here comes Ace to try and take it. The man that very nearly won the race earlier on, got disqualified on the final few laps. Now he's coming here to try and redeem himself in Japan. Has he got anything in store for us today? This is some insane action from the front as the top 5, all within a few tenths of a second. Actually, probably all the way down to P15, all within a few tenths of a second. A brilliant safety car restart as George Russell still in front, but a tenth of a second then the gap at the moment, everybody. The Ferrari out in front. Can Ace make his way through? On the backside, looking to make it up the inside, not able to, holds it on the rear end for now. But some great racing action from the front as the guys continue on. If you missed qualifying earlier, by the way, it was insane. And go back to watch it if you're rewatching the stream. But it was brilliant. And now the racing action is already proving better. The Red Bull tried to look for a move around the outside line. Unfortunately for him, not enough room to do so. And he has to wait back then. But still going, George Russell, he stayed in front but into the barrier. The race leaders collide here on the Tuesday division. The race leaders together. Both of them losing places. It is Ace down to P10. It is George Russell who comes off a little bit better from that. But the race leaders collide, ladies and gentlemen. And it's George Russell in 7, now being brought back into the pack, but falling down so much from where he was earlier on. And the lead gets handed to the Audi of Milk. F1 Mikey Boy now is trying to bring his first win home of the Tuesday division here on this, of course, this season here at 8th round. Can Mikey bring home his first win? I was not expecting him to be near the race-winning areas today, but look where he is. He's fighting for that win, and he's right on the backside here then. Milk is your leader, but Mikey Boy is not going anywhere, and he's probably got a good chance here at winning this Grand Prix. No time penalties then across the track as they've all been served from that 10-second penalty we had earlier on, and the top 3 very close then in towards the final few corners. But it's Milk as your leader. And the Audi leading quite well. It's about 0.2 of a second the gap then at the minute between him and F1 Mikey Boy. Mikey's now going to try and gain again down the main straight to begin the 5th lap of 27 here in Japan. If you're just joining us, this is the 8th round of the season here on the WRC Tuesday division. And I am personally biased myself, but it's got to be the best tier of WRC. And F1 Mikey Boy is giving it everything at the front to try and get ahead here of the race leader Milk. He had that handed to him on a plate after the race leaders, George Russell, came together earlier on. I cannot believe that even happened. Ace all the way down to P17 after going into the pit lane. Fortunately, all coming crashing down for him. Not the way he'd like to see it, unfortunately, but maybe he can make a return later on. If we get a safety car, expect him to make a return. But a long way then till maybe something like that. As Danny up the inside line. Danny onto the podium places now ahead of Cam Ruddy. It's Cam Ruddy on the outside line, trying to make a move through and past. Is he able to? He's nowhere near at the minute. Lap 5 of 27. Off wide there, goes the Audi, and that is going to bring the Alpine of F1 Mikey Boy into play. Getting ever closer, right on the backside. The Alpine going for that lead, switching it up the inside line now, and switching back. Mikey Boy, the league owner, absolutely rapid driver, came close to winning multiple world championships, and he hasn't won a race this season. He might make that #1 today, but he has got to try and defend from Milk here, who is a multiple race winner this season, I believe, and he is now trying to maintain this lead. Mikey holds it. Milk will not be able to do anything about that at the moment. Mikey leads then through the first few corners on lap 6 of 27, and it is Milk in second place in the Audi, holding P2. Danny then running in 3rd, and that is your podium place at the moment. Cam Ruddy not too far off that then in P4. P5 is George Russell then, who's trying to make his return here on the medium compound tyres, the same of course as the guys pretty much all around him. But the drivers make their way round, and I hate to say it, but I think we have some. I think we have quite a lot of fake viewers in the stream here. We have a lot of fake messages being sent in. But lap 6 of 27, and a brilliant race so far. Still 27 in the TikTok, and a supposed 126 views in the Twitch chat this evening. A lot going on. So many AI messages. As Charlie's still in the I'm real. I'm glad to see a real person as the battle for the lead continues. And look at this battle, nearly 4 abreast then for the drivers through the final few, and up towards the line. It's going to be Danny F31 as your leader around the final turn, up towards the line, 40% battery as he tries to hold F1 Mikey Boy behind. I don't know if it's possible. Mikey's going to go for it. Can he get ahead? On the backside, it's Milk now who tries to go for it as well. Milk getting involved. He's now down to third. Cam Ruddy's just watching this all unfold then as he's around. He's not able to get ahead at the moment. It's karting, Zach in the chat. I'm real. George as well. Hello, good to see you. I'm glad to see some real people. The TikTok, of course, isn't the problem. We've got a lot of fake people on the Twitch, but a lot of viewers this evening and a lot of eyes on the WRC League. A massive stream this evening, which is probably at the top of the F125 stream list on Twitch today, or very nearly at the top anyway, as Danny F31 still leading on lap 7 of 27. 0.4 of a second then between 1 and 2 as Mikey is gaining, but he might even be overtaken here by TMS Milk, the Audi, who is going to go up the inside line. Milk into P2. He finds his place on the track, finds his position, and it's P2 for Milk, who is now going to go and gun down Danny for the lead. 0.4 of a second the gap. Mikey Boy is coming back at him into 130R. Will it be a move here? It will not. The Alpine having to wait behind, not able to go for it at this moment in time. Milk locking up into the final few. Here comes the Alpine of Mikey. It's going to give him an opportunity for the second place, and he has taken it now. The Alpine into P2. It's Cam Ruddy losing a position. He goes down to, he gains a position, sorry. Milk loses 2, and it's George Russell back up to 4th place. He's making places up now. George Russell around the outside line of the Audi. He does hold that from Milk now, who is forcing a move on him again. Now he tries for the outside. The Audi giving it his best shot here on the Ferrari, giving it absolutely everything. And it's Milk who gets into 4th place. What a move. Gets ahead of George Russell, fending off the man that was leading earlier on. Then came together with Ace, and it is such a shame. You know, the way that it unfolds for certain drivers. As in the chat, Garrison says WRC is the top F125 stream right now. That is an insane stat. I'm very glad to add that to my list of things that I've done. We've topped the WRC, the F1 streams on Twitch, which is very, very nice. W Commentator, I appreciate it, mate. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. Only 8 laps in. And, you know, do not go anywhere, but we've got a long time. You've got time to, you know, go make a cup of tea or whatever. We're still going to be here. We've got a long amount of laps left, everybody. And I'm sure every single lap is going to be filled with action. Danny as your leader, and the gap then about 0.2 of a second between him and F1 Mikey Boy. Mikey, one of the quicker drivers here in WRC, as he's really putting the pressure on Danny F31 here. Here he goes, round the final few corners then, and up towards the line we go. Can Mikey go for that race lead? I'm sure we'd all love him to do it, just for the action on the track, and the Alpine is getting closer. Will it be enough? He takes the outside line and clears the race leader Danny for a brief moment in time. The Alpine goes for the lead, and he does take the lead momentarily. Now he's done it for definite. It is Mikey leading the Japanese Grand Prix here in WRC on the Tuesday night. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant in this race so far for Mikey. Danny's trying to gain. Finished P9 in my first race in the Fun Series. That's really good, mate. My first race ever when I race, finished P9. Very good, very good. Should be happy with that. But the racing up at the front continuing. And let me just give you a rundown of the views so far, because this is arguably some of the best I've ever seen WRC produce. It's 42 viewers in the Twitch chat, TikTok chat, very respectable. Then we go to 134 in the Twitch chat, which is just insane. And Fooligan Pro with a 10-second time penalty. That is one driver with a time penalty now. Yeah, one driver. As yellow flags, and somebody potentially having a spin there, but it looks like it's been sorted out now. As we go to the lead, and it is still F1 Mikey Boy as your leader. Lap 9 of 27 is about to come to a close, and the Alpine heads through 130R. Then as your leader, he's currently 3rd in the World Championship standings then. It's 163 points to him. Meloon on 164, bearing in mind Meloon is down in... he's quite far back, down in P17. As of now, Mikey Boy will be potentially the leader of the championship. Don't know. Danny's down in 9th position, and it's going to be some mental maths that we'll have to do later on towards the latter stages of the stream. But we can work that out later when it gets a little bit more set in stone and definite. Still a long way to go, and 17 laps of racing remaining, with F1 Mikey Boy doing everything in his power to maintain a race lead. We have not had really any pit stops from the front runners, all on their 9-lap-old tyres still at the moment. A mixture of mediums and hards, but no softs in sight anymore, as they have been changed out for the hard compound tyres with the early pit stoppers then earlier on. But 10 laps in at the moment. And keep your eye on George Russell. As I was about to speak about him, he makes an overtake, does go deep. That allows the Haas to come back at him. And Cam Ruddy now back into second place, everybody. George Russell tries to take it back, though. He looks for that inside gap, and he can, of course, generate any space that he wants, and he goes into second place. George Russell now to P2, and it is Milk dropping down, or in third place now, sorry, Cam Ruddy dropping down to 4th. Not ideal from him then, as he loses 2 places, and it is a bit of a shame then that happens to him. But F1 Mikey Boy out in front, and from the squabbling going on from behind, he allows himself to be the race leader by 0.8 of a second. He is on for a really nice evening tonight. And a hell of a lot of points could be coming his way if he continues this. This is going well then. And pit stops now for George Russell, Milk and Cam Ruddy. Undercutting F1 Mikey Boy here then. A lot of drivers coming in. The medium compound tyres are getting changed. The Haas then goes onto the hards, as well as every single other person then who will be doing that and getting new hard compound tyres on lap 11 of 27. Is it really George Russell? Unfortunately, it isn't. But he's brought some massive pace tonight, and you could argue he's probably as quick as George. Unfortunately, he's down in 9th at the minute, but he has just made a pit stop. Mark my word, he'll be in the top 3. He will be in the top 3, absolutely. He's rapid, and the pace that he's brought to the league today is just insane, and I cannot wait to see him again. I unfortunately haven't been here for a few weeks because I've had some internet problems. That's all been sorted, so I don't know when George Russell actually joined this server or not. I don't know when he joined. But you know, he's doing very well, and he's clearly settled in well already. The 2 Alpines then running 1 and 2. It is a 1-2 so far in the running order for the Alpines, everybody. That is a brilliant sight for them, isn't it? Blake and Mikey, brilliant teammates, keeping it going well at the minute. And at the moment, Alpine 1-2. Is there a Discord link I can get in the Twitch chat, in the TikTok chat? Sorry, someone says. If there's anybody listening to this that is an owner or someone in WRC, if someone could send some links around into the chats, that would help out a lot of people. I'm not really able to do that right now, as I don't want to take my eyes away from the race. But if someone could send some server links into the chats, that'd be really useful, and it's going to help out a lot of people. But yeah, lap 12 of 27. Best know, what a legend. 2 races in a row on comms. I know, it's a long time, but honestly, I've missed this league so much, I was not bothered at all. Still 50 people in the TikTok and 124 then in the Twitch. Somebody crashed at the back, apparently, someone says. Not seen that. I don't know what's happened. But we have had Fooligan Pro and Dinosaur retire from the session. That was very early on in the race and a good while ago now. But let's go through the order. And now we have found a battle worth watching. Danny F31 racing on George Russell from P7. Can this Williams go and take that place ahead? Oh, through goes the Audi. I was not expecting Milt to come through. He goes up the inside line, and a move then from the Audi as he goes into 8th position. Danny now drops down to 9th. Let me remind you, Danny is the reigning world champion from the previous season, and he's running in 9th place at the moment. George Russell then gets ahead of Milk. Milk goes wide. George Russell into 7. Now he's battling on the backside of Ollie Southall. Here he goes. Brilliant move. Brilliant amount of space that he's left as well. George Russell through into 6th position. And through he goes then. Someone that's just put the Discord link in the chat, if someone could copy that into the TikTok, that would be massively appreciated. A hell of a lot of people in there asking about the Discord. So if someone could do that, I'd really, really appreciate it. But loads of action going on. And we've had a position change up the front. We've had this battle going on here as well. Really good commentary, thank you, mate. We head through the final turn and towards the line. It is F1 Mikey Boy as your race leader, but this is the battle that we're focusing on right now. The battle for 4th place, and the Ferrari of George Russell is not waiting around. He's now broken in to the drivers in front of him that haven't made pit stops. He is now the effective race leader, ladies and gentlemen. George Russell, I told you, mark my words, he'll be on the podium. He is now the effective race leader. Mikey, Matt and Drew, all 3 drivers who have not been into the pit lane just yet. And need a gap for the leader, apparently. Oh, my bad. No, not actually do that very often. There we go. Gaps the leader. I'll leave that on for a moment. Gaps the leader on the screen, and it goes quite far back. Kian, the furthest back at the moment. But F1 Mikey Boy ahead by 7.5 seconds here from Matt Connor. Drew Larrard 7.9 seconds away from the race lead as he's right on the backside of Matt Connor here. Drew bringing the pace to Matt, and it is nice. It is very, very nice indeed for Drew, who's really keeping himself up there and ahead. But of course he will need to make a pit stop, and I don't know how that's going to affect him. Here we go then. This is where it gets exciting, everybody. We have got a pit stop from the race leader. Mikey's going to come out of the pit lane. What's the gap looking like here then? Has the gap been built up enough? So George Russell, I don't think it has. George Russell now coming down the straight. Mikey Boy coming out of the pit lane, but it's just not enough. And through goes George Russell. He now goes into 3rd place. It's Drew Larrard and Matt Connor in P1 and P2. They still need to, of course, go into the pit lane. That should be coming up in the next few laps, especially for Drew Larrard. You've got Matt Connor. He's probably going to go a bit longer, though, on those hard compound tyres. Here comes Drew, and on his debut here in the World Racing Championship, he leads the Japanese Grand Prix. And even though he needs to make a pit stop, never would I think Drew Larrard then today leading the Tuesday division race. Of course, my teammate on the Thursday, and he's here bringing the action to one of the best drivers I know, Matt Connor, giving it absolutely everything here in Japan. And it is Drew who still leads here in this Grand Prix at the moment, heading down now to the flying left-hander on lap 14 and 27. These laps ticking by very quickly indeed. This has been a mega fun race, and hopefully you all in the chat agree with that. So many viewers tonight, so much reach for the WRC League. We are on another level now, we really are. Tesco Meal Deals in 10th. These guys don't want to leave each other alone at all, do they? It is Tesco Meal Deals as your leader in the Ferrari, doing a very good job of this battle. Let me reiterate that, as your leader of this battle, as he runs in P10, and Matt Connor gets ahead of the leader as Drew Larrard now in the pit lane. But for this P10 battle, they're all battling away and giving it everything here. Milk the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as we have got the Ferrari of Tesco holding back Billy Mears, the Season 1 World Champion. Here we go then, down the main straight again. Are we going to get some overtakes here? Some definitely overtakes up at the front, but I want to try and keep on this. Doesn't look like much is going on. Someone coming out of the pit lane there. The Mercedes of Nova Piper has managed to make a lunge. He goes through to P11, makes that look very nice indeed. Here's Ollie Southall then, who's trying to keep Blake behind. Blake on the rear side. This is always going to end badly. The Alpine at the inside line of the Williams. It stayed very neat and tidy, and through goes the Alpine. What a move. That is very nice indeed, and very nice action for our 135 people in the Twitch, still 35 in the TikTok as well. This has been the most successful WRC stream we have ever done on the Tuesday division. Contact on the left side there, and it's Blake who is going to get in front, but contact was made. Blake in 7. Ollie Southall will have to settle for 8 now, as he does lose his bit of time, and just loses his groove slightly now as he's out of the that gap that he once wanted, which is such a shame. But back to the intervals now, so we can see what the gap between the drivers is, and it's Matt Connor leading by 5.8 seconds. Bearing in mind, Matt Connor has not been into the pit lane as of yet. He will need to make a pit stop. 14 laps on the hard compound tyres, hasn't been in yet, and it is George Russell behind who will be going for that race win. Here's F1 Mikey Boy then, as in the pit lane for Matt Connor. These are your leading drivers. Mikey trying to hunt down the man that was leading for so long earlier on. George Russell in third place, holding this really well at the minute then. And absolutely brilliant racing action we're witnessing here so far. And you can tell it's good racing action because the viewers have stayed around, which is always what we like to see. It is Mikey now on the backside of George Russell, battling well with the Ferrari. He looks for that move, but it's not looking like he'll be able to do it at the moment. Lap 16 to 27. Let him get a bit closer, and Mikey might just get the opportunity. But this is your leader, Milk in the Audi. He is racing well, and he's leading this race well. Woody is out of the session. That is in the pit lane, so nothing really too much to worry about there. As we have the Audi of TMS Milk all the way down in towards the left-hander as your leader by 7 whole tenths of a second. Not a hell of a lot in it, though, at the minute, because Danny's gaining. Don't forget about Russell as well. He's not too far back. And never count out F1 Mikey Boy, as his race pace is absolutely unbeatable. 4th place then for him. The top 4 keeping within a good and an entertaining distance. Here we go again. Let's do it once more. Lap 17 begins across the line for the leading drivers. And we're going to potentially get some overtakes going on here. Then the top 4 gaining down towards turn 1. Danny, is he going to go for it? He wasn't able to, unfortunately. Has to wait back at the moment. And that is it at the moment. Milk will maintain that lead. Let's go to the back, see if we're missing out on anything. Nova Piper getting perilously close there to Ollie Southall. Potential for a move though here, as the Williams is going to try and keep himself in front, but the slightest wrong turn of the wheel and it will all come crumbling down for Ollie Southall. Nova Piper is right there. A little bit of a mistake for the Williams, and the Mercedes will find that position straight away. Let's see how this goes then. Mercedes is going to go for it. He looks for the inside line, but still not able to. T-minus 10 laps till the end. This might be a lunge. This is a lunge. The Mercedes on the Williams. The Williams moves out of the way. Ollie Southall giving room to Mercedes, and it's Nova Piper who finds himself level with Ollie Southall. Side by side here we go then, and it is going to be Nova Piper who gets out in front, of course, there. 8th position from him. A great battle that we're witnessing from the drivers. You've got to love to see it. Really good action here. And yeah, we look up to the front here, and it is Milk and Danny battling once again. Danny then going for the lead, and is this the first time we've seen him in that position? I'm not entirely sure. I think it might be. Look at the drivers battling into the wall. There is a huge crash here in the Tuesday division in Japan. Mikey Boy out of the session, crashes into the pit wall, and Mikey Boy, who was running really well in the Grand Prix, is out of the Japanese Grand Prix for round 8. Huge collision into the wall, and that has got to be a safety car. One of the main drivers retires from the session this evening, clips the inside wall of the pit wall, and you don't see many crashes that large. Milk will be your leader behind the safety car when he gets there. He'll have to catch up with it. He'll have to go around the track once. That was an insanely large crash. And Mikey Boy is out, and I know he's going to be absolutely gutted about that. He really will. He was up there and potentially challenging for the lead, but unfortunately, he's out. And that is it for Mikey. It's not often you see crashes like that. And, wow, it's not often you get to commentate crashes like that. That was insane. Massive crash. It's a shame we didn't get a better camera angle of it, but from what I saw from my angle, he flew. He absolutely flew. In the chat, when do the races on Tuesday start? So at the minute, we are running a Tuesday mini-series. That starts at 6 p.m. UK time, and we've still got 2 rounds left of that season. And then this is the main Tuesday division, and this is, of course, a full season. And this starts at 8 p.m. UK time. So if you're interested in racing, mate, get yourself in the server. Same with everybody else watching live tonight. This is the kind of thing that you'd want to get involved in. Then make sure you you get in the server and get watching the stream. Elijah, it says resend verification email. What do I do? Honestly, mate, I've got no idea. I don't run the server. I just commentate. You'd have to wait for Mikey boy, who just spawns in the TikTok chat. I'm sure he's going to be able to help you. He says, well, that hurt. I'm off to the medical tent. As that was a huge crash from Mikey. And like I mentioned, not very often you see things like that. But many pit stops coming in here then, everybody. It's been a sensational race, I have to say. One of my all-time favourites in WRC at the moment. And I'm so glad to be back. I've been missing out the weeks I've been gone. This is the best league that I commentate, I've got to say, and I stand by that. Very, very privileged to be able to commentate on it, I've got to say. I really am. But Drew Larrard, as your leader, let me just point out, because I know Drew as well personally in real life, and I just know the way he'd be feeling right now, leading this Grand Prix. He's got 4 laps on these tyres, and they're hards as well, so he's got the the chance to go on these till the end now. You can see the strategy he's trying to play out here. 4 laps on these tyres, there's only about 8 laps left. Drew could go to the end here and win it, but of course he might not have the pace over the guys behind him, with of course Milk, Danny, George, Russell as well. But it's always a possibility. He's stayed out, didn't go into the pit lane like everybody else. He's stayed out to gain the track position. And, of course, gone ahead and done that. Quick rundown in the viewing tonight then, everybody. It's been a very successful stream in WRC. 130 people in the Twitch and 22 people watching live in the TikTok. About 60 at most in the TikTok earlier. It has been insane. The TikTok has surely gained a nice amount of followers from this, because I keep seeing it popping up every few seconds, people sending follows over. But we really do appreciate your support, guys. It really does matter. And, of course, all of the subs that got gifted earlier on as well. Insane. Honestly, I think it was over 50 subs that got sent. It was absolutely mental in the Twitch. And, honestly, I don't think it's the end of it. I really don't. But in the chat, how do you join? If you scroll up in the chat, you might see a Discord link, mate, and you can join there. If not, stick around, and the league owner is in the stream right now. I might be able to send you a link if he has a little bit of time. But only 7 laps remaining, everybody, and these are going to be some of the best laps of racing that you have ever seen. And I'll stand by that, because the safety car is out. Bearing in mind, we had proper strong racing action here in WRC all the way through to to maybe lap 15 to 16 before it started to potentially die down slightly. We've only got 7 left. We're going to get the best of the action here. And Drew Larrard, 5-lap-old hard compound tyres. He is your Grand Prix leader in the McLaren. His teammate, the Season 1 world champion, Billy Mewis, maybe giving him a little bit of a word, maybe a few tips on how to lead a race or go ahead and win a race, which is the position he's in at the moment. But will he get swallowed up by the medium runners behind? The truth of it is, that's what it is looking like is going to happen. But we'll find out. Keane with a 3-second time penalty. Won't be very long before we go racing again. And to everybody that's in the chat, we've got a hell of a lot of people in here tonight, so I can ask this question. Hopefully it'll get answered. Who do we think is going to be the race winner today, everybody? Put your race winner predictions in the chat. TikTok and Twitch, put them in. See if you can get it right. The Grand Prix ending in 7 laps. Who do we think is going to be able to claim that win at the end? It's a tough one. It's a really, really tough one. I don't think you can pinpoint it. But it's going to go down exceptionally well. Don't go anywhere. The safety car is about to go away. And we're about to go racing again, and hopefully for the final time this afternoon on the Tuesday division. Quite a few votes there. Got one for Drew, it's a few for Danny to win. People saying Russell as well. We've also got one for Blake. Danny and Russell again. Milk. There's quite a few people then that are being nominated to win this race. Let's see who wins it out on track. Barely any time penalties then here as we go racing again, and the safety car goes away. Drew Larrett then is your leader. Can he maintain this lead, or will he get swallowed up by these drivers behind? Let's go. Milk then up the inside line. He's going to try and make an overtake on Drew Larrett. He's already on the outside, putting pressure on him. Drew still leads through the first few, but that is some insane racing going on there from him, and pressure that he's mounting on the race leader as he tries to get through past Larrett here at the moment, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it just as of yet. The Audi using all of his battery to get ahead of Drew, still not able to do it, and he's going to hold himself back behind then in second place at the moment. Drew Larrett leads then in the McLaren. It's Milk second place, Danny holding third. The racing action looking very nice as everybody's still a few tenths of a second here, hitting the Ferrari, then the Haas, sends it on George Russell. George Russell loses places then, everybody. Such a shame. He's down to fourth place now, and losing places. We've got drivers trying to overtake him as well. We've got George Russell up the inside line. We've also got Milk trying to go for the lead. It is a move round the outside for the Audi, and he does go ahead and take the lead today. It's Milk who leads from Drew Larrett, from George Russell, then from a 2x2 train of Noah's Ark driving here. It is George Russell in third, from Cam Ruddy into 130 we go. And it's looking like the Ferrari, who did get set back earlier on, is gone for second place and now going for the lead. 6 laps of racing remaining, everybody. And George Russell is going for the Grand Prix win here for the Japanese Grand Prix. It is only Milk and Russell in their own world out in front, then breaking away from the rest of the action. Who's going to go ahead and win it? Both of these drivers did pick up some... it's massive crash into the barrier. The McLaren of Drew Larrett then. A huge crash into the wall. And it is a full safety car again. Drew Larrett retiring from the race. Massive crash into the wall. Drew out. And another safety car, everybody. Such a shame about the safety car. Such a shame about Drew. Insane crash. We've seen 2 massive crashes this evening. Massive. Insane. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed so far. 15 people still lingering around in the TikTok, and a whopping 133 staying live on the Twitch at the moment. But a really nice showing. I appreciate everybody here. But, it's looking like we're going to have a few laps now under the safety car before we go racing, which may make it a little bit more exciting. This safety car might have been one of the best things to happen in this race, because there's only going to be a few laps left when we go racing. And did you see the way they were fighting there? Laps, after the safety car went away. These drivers are a different breed, and if you can't get into the esports, this is definitely the next best thing. All of them absolutely rapid, and we have got probably 1 or 2 more laps behind the safety car when they catch up, and then we'll go racing again. But I'm just shocked at how insane today's been. Drew Larrett and F1 Mikey Boy both with massive crashes here in WRC Tuesday Division tonight. Massive crashes. And I'm sure they'll both be put on the TikTok. They have to be put on the TikTok because they were massive. And we've also got more people asking to join. Fred in the chat. If you scroll up a little bit in the chat, mate, there'll be a Discord link. You'll be able to copy and paste that and, of course, join the server through there. If not, Mikey should be in the chat to send you a link. Hopefully you can get that sent over if he is still lingering around. But this is another safety car we have here then at the moment. And lap 23 of 27. So only 4 laps of racing left. 4 laps left in this race. And it's been good. It has been very good. I've got to say, probably the best stream that I've ever done in WRC. It has been personal favourite. And for saying that I've done 2 races in a row, I'm still pretty energetic for this safety car restart. Lap 23 of 27. Second safety car here then. And Milk is your leader when we go racing again. but it's the two Ferraris of George Russell and Tesco Meal Deals. Both drivers then are getting ready to go for that 1-2 finish in this Grand Prix, or at least one of the drivers bring home a win. They're going to try and swarm Milk on the start. You can still see the tyres on your screen. And the tyres at the moment looking very fresh due to the previous safety car that we had. Milk, Russell, Tesco, Nova, Piper, Billy Mewis and Humboldt as well. We are nearing the end of tonight's Grand Prix and one of the better races we've ever had here, I have to admit. The racing action has been insane and we're very lucky to have this league. You don't really get many like this. This is pretty much esports level in my opinion, and you know the amount that goes into the league as well. So all of those gifted subs earlier on, over 50 gifted subs I think by people in the chat, which is a hell of a lot of money, might I add. That's going to help the league a hell of a lot. It really is, especially now racing every single day of the week and mini-series too. The admins work their backsides off getting this league to run. But it is lap 24 or 27. We should be racing lap 25. I assume we're going racing next. Shouldn't be much longer than this. But the second safety car, 5k likes as well in the TikTok, which is quite nice. 5,000 likes, thank you very much. Oh, very good, Keane. Hopefully you're doing well. Looks like you're having a bit of fun keeping on the backside of the action. Of course, Keane down in P17. One thing I like about Keane is he always perseveres, no matter where he is. You get a lot of people that they'll be last and they'll just retire. Keane always continues on. He never stops. And you know what? In previous races, that has worked out very well for him. It really has. Because you end up getting a lot of people retiring, and he just jumps up the order and scores a brilliant amount of, a brilliant amount of points. He says he's jamming to music. He's just chilling. He's just chilling then on the final few laps. But the safety car is getting ready to go into the pit lane. Now, this is where it gets quite hectic, everybody. We're going to have about 3 laps of racing remaining here on the Tuesday division, here for the Japanese Grand Prix, and it is the Audi leading this race on the restart. Here we go then. We're about to go racing again, and for the final time of the evening today. The 2 Ferraris then will be going for that 1-2 finish. Can they take it? It's all to play for here in the final few laps. Milk down towards turn 1, already got a Ferrari gaining on him, and it is George Russell, the man that took pole position, in second place right now, still in the podium places, but going for the lead, not able to make that overtake just yet, and it is still Milk who holds it very well indeed. The Ferrari trying to find any little gap to push his Ferrari car through with 0.2 of a second the gap, and through the first sector, quite a tricky one to do so. It's George Russell still second place. Tesco Meal Deals lose their place down to 4th now as Nova Piper in 3rd place now in the top 3. But Milk as your leader, and it might not be for too much longer as George Russell is right on the backside. He's up the inside line. Here we go then. This was for the lead, but the Ferrari just not got the pace here. He's saving his battery on purpose. He knows that the big straight's coming up in a moment. He does try and get ahead of the Audi, but of course, having to stay a little bit more wiser with the battery here. He's got 100% now, and he's going to be able to use that all the way down towards the 130R corner. He's on the backside of the Audi. Is any of them going to lift off in towards the left-hander? It's going to be the Ferrari against the Audi. This is for the race lead then here in Japan. Is George Russell through? He is for a moment. He's on the outside line again, locking up then into the final chicane, and the Ferrari, after many laps of racing, finally has managed to take that lead once again. George Russell leads this race then on lap 26 of 27, the penultimate round of the penultimate lap of this season. Finally got there, and George Russell leading well, but he's got 0.4 of a second then to Milk. Cam Ruddy retires in the pit lane, Milk second place, Nova Piper third. This is your podium then at the moment. The Ferrari 1-2 that we all thought might have had a chance of happening has now all of a sudden gone down the drain then for the Ferraris. One Ferrari's going to bring it home, but the other one has gone down to 5th position at the moment. Here comes the Mercedes and Ace is going to try and make a move here, sticking well within a few tenths of a second, but not enough there to make that lunge and make the pass. Going very wide there for George Russell. He tries to keep himself on the track, potentially getting a bit of a warning there as well, and a penalty at this stage in the race at the top is lethal. We just had a safety car restart. Everybody, tenths of a second between them. You get a 3-second time penalty in P2, you'll be all the way down to about P14. It will not be a nice day for you. Malone and Billy Mewis then, for old time's sake, going at it, and it's going to be Malone. He holds 6th position here. As Billy Mewis, the Season 1 World Champion, not able to make his move ahead into 7th place at the moment then. It is lap 26th of 27. We have one more lap of racing when we cross the line in a moment, and all the action going on from behind as well. But I'm sure we're going to have to go to the race leaders in a moment then for the final lap of this race. The action from behind has been just as good as it has been from the front, and the Red Bull goes through ahead there of the Williams. George Russell on the final lap of the Grand Prix takes the fastest lap in the Ferrari, heads down now towards turn 1, and on 8-lap-old mediums, running really well. It's wheel banging in towards turn 1 as Milk holds 2nd place now, gets ahead. The Mercedes now has got the jump. Nova Piper with a little bit more speed and potentially a little bit more battery usage as well. He goes through to 2nd place, and the Mercedes now on a higher step on the podium when that comes round at the end of this lap. Lap 27 now, the final lap of the Grand Prix. George Russell was leading earlier on. He took pole position by a good 0.3 of a second, leading earlier on, then had a bit of a coming together with Ace, who's managed to get back up to 4th, but Russell has managed to get back onto that leading spot. Ace now is going to try for a move. He has gone for that move. It's 3rd place for Ace, into 3rd and on the podium, which is exactly where he wants to be. Would like to claim 2nd place here at the end. Now this is going to be a very nice ending. A long straight is coming up in a minute, and this is where the drivers are going to use every last bit of their battery, because there's no next lap. This is it then, the final lap of the race. Everybody's going to use everything, burn it all, and get to the end of this race, trying to maximise their position, maximise where they can finish. It's definitely going to be George Russell to bring it home as he leads in the Ferrari, now in towards the final chicane. And here in Japan, it has been a domination drive from the Ferrari. Over the line then for George Russell, who wins the Japanese Grand Prix here in the Tuesday Division WRC. Nova Piper for 2nd place and on the podium, and Ace manages to secure 3rd place at the end. It is Milk 4, Tesco Meal Deal 5, Maloon in 6, P7 Danny, 8 is Billy Mewis, 9 Ferrari for Life, 10 Romeo Blues, it's 11 Blake, and the drivers finished that quick that I couldn't read them all off. Wow, that was arguably one of the best WR streams we have had. Quite an exciting one indeed. Well, a brilliant race win. Here is your results then. The race winner to George Russell, the fastest lap to Russell 2. Driver of the day, Nova Piper. Most overtakes goes to Humboldt, and the cleanest driver to Blake. Here's your results then at the end of the Japanese Grand Prix. Won by Russell and very much deserved. It is Nova Piper 2nd place and BP Ace for 3rd and on the podium. A very successful stream we have had in... well, at the most, on the TikTok, over 60 people watching live. And at the same time as that, we had nearly 140 people in the Twitch as well. So well over, or just over, 200 people watching live tonight. And I'm sure it was more as people joining and leaving throughout the night. Very successful stream. Hopefully you all enjoyed. To anybody that's just joining us, and yeah, to anyone that's just joining us, and maybe you've been watching for a little while, if you want to get involved, make sure you join the Discord. Someone will send that in the chat for you. We've got a lot of people in the server now, and that can get to you very, very soon. But thanks for joining me, everybody. We race every single day of the week now. So I believe a stream 7 days a week, which is just insane for WRC. The league has grown so much since last September. Thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your evening, and good night.